Riley was a coder. Life felt a bit too predictable. Then Riley found the Quantum Quest Hub. It was an online portal to a new world, a world of quantum computing. To join, Riley had to take the Fool's Leap onboarding quiz. The name itself was intriguing. It spoke of new beginnings, of stepping into the unknown with faith. The quiz asked unusual questions. Questions about dreams for the future. Questions about solving Earth's biggest problems. Riley felt an undeniable pull. Quantum computing sounded like the next frontier. It was a challenge, a mystery, and an adventure all in one. The Quantum Quest Hub was not just a website, it was a vibrant community. Thinkers, scientists, and coders gathered there. They discussed qubits and quantum entanglement. Riley, a skilled classical coder, knew little about this domain. This leap felt enormous, like jumping off a cliff, but the name Fool's Leap resonated deeply. It was about embracing the unknown with open arms. It meant starting anew, shedding old assumptions. Riley was ready for this profound change. The potential of quantum computing was immense. It promised to reshape technology as we know it. This was the start of an epic journey. Soon after joining, Riley connected with a mentor. This mentor was known in the hub as the Magician. The Magician was an experienced quantum physicist. They had a gift for explaining complex ideas. They made quantum mechanics seem almost simple. The Magician showed Riley the basics of quantum algorithms. It was like learning an entirely new language, a language capable of describing the universe at its most fundamental level, a language that could unlock solutions to problems once thought unsolvable. The Magician's guidance was invaluable. Riley felt like an apprentice learning ancient, powerful secrets. The Magician introduced core quantum concepts. Superposition was one, entanglement was another. Riley began to grasp these strange ideas. A qubit, unlike a classical bit, could be a 0 and a 1 simultaneously. This was the magic of superposition. Entangled qubits were even stranger. They remained connected, instantly influencing each other, no matter the distance separating them. This interconnectedness held immense computational power. Riley started to see how these principles could fuel revolutionary computers. The journey into quantum coding had truly begun, with the Magician lighting the path forward. The Quantum Quest Hub encouraged unconventional learning. One method was to record dreams. This practice was associated with the High Priestess archetype. The High Priestess represents intuition and hidden knowledge. Riley began keeping a dream journal. At first, this practice felt odd for a coder, but soon, interesting patterns started to emerge. Images and ideas from dreams seemed to connect to quantum problems. Solutions for code appeared in symbolic forms. Riley started to trust this inner voice, this subconscious stream of wisdom. Quantum mechanics itself is often counterintuitive, so listening to deeper intuition made sense. Dreams became a surprising source of inspiration. Riley would dream of qubits. They danced in intricate patterns. These patterns resembled complex quantum circuits. The High Priestess taught the importance of listening to the quiet whispers of the subconscious mind. This part of the mind often holds profound understanding. Riley learned to value these intuitive flashes. They provided new angles on difficult problems. This intuitive approach complemented the logical, structured learning. It was a holistic way to engage with the quantum realm. It helped Riley navigate the weird and wonderful quantum world. Guided by this growing intuition, Riley joined a new project. This project was inspired by the Empress card. The Empress symbolizes creativity, nature, and nurturing growth. The project's goal was to apply quantum computing to sustainability. The team aimed to find better ways to store renewable energy. They also explored designs for new, ultra-efficient solar cells. This mission resonated deeply with Riley. It was a chance to use cutting-edge technology, a chance to help heal the planet. This work felt incredibly meaningful and purposeful. Working on the Sustainable Energy Project was deeply fulfilling. Riley saw firsthand how quantum simulations could model complex molecules. These models could lead to breakthroughs in battery technology, or help design catalysts for cleaner industrial processes. The Empress also signifies abundance and development. Riley's own skills in quantum coding were flourishing. The collaborative environment of the team was nurturing. Ideas were shared openly. Everyone was motivated by the common goal. Riley was not just learning code, Riley was contributing to a greener future. This was growth on multiple levels. True mastery requires understanding the underlying structure. The Emperor archetype in the hub symbolized this principle. Riley delved into foundational quantum laws using virtual reality simulations. These simulations were incredibly immersive. It was like stepping directly into the quantum realm. Riley could observe particles behaving in their strange, probabilistic ways. The fundamental rules of quantum mechanics are complex, but the VR environment made them more tangible and understandable. This was learning by experiencing, not just by reading equations. It built a solid framework for advanced work. The Emperor represents order, structure, and established laws. Riley focused on learning the core equations. Schrödinger's equation became a constant companion. Understanding these mathematical descriptions was essential. Without this deep knowledge, quantum programming would be mere guesswork. The VR simulations vividly demonstrated the consequences of these laws. They showed how quantum systems evolve. Riley began to appreciate the immense precision required in this field. This structured learning built a robust foundation. It was the bedrock upon which future quantum innovations would be built. This was crucial for Riley's evolving expertise. Beyond the physics, quantum computing has a rich history. It also presents profound ethical dilemmas. The Hierophant archetype guided this phase of exploration. Riley studied the lives and work of quantum pioneers: Max Planck, Albert Einstein, Niels Bohr, and Richard Feynman. Understanding their intellectual journeys was inspiring. It showed how revolutionary ideas are born and develop. It also highlighted the intense debates and collaborations. These stories provided context and depth to the technical knowledge. The human side of science was just as important. The ethical considerations were particularly significant. Quantum computers with their vast power could break current encryption standards. This capability poses enormous risks to global security and privacy. Who should control such powerful technology? How can we ensure it is used for the benefit of all humanity? The Hierophant encourages deep contemplation of these moral questions. Riley engaged in thoughtful discussions with mentors and peers. The consensus was clear: innovation must be responsible. Technology, especially one as transformative as quantum computing, must serve and uplift society. Riley soon arrived at a significant crossroads. Two compelling projects sought quantum expertise. One project was in medicine. It aimed to use quantum simulations for accelerated drug discovery. The other focused on climate change. It involved optimizing carbon capture technologies. This was the lover's moment in Riley's journey. A critical choice had to be made. Both paths were noble. Both aligned perfectly with Riley's deeply held values. The decision was not easy. Each project promised to make a real difference in the world. Choosing between these two vital areas was difficult. Riley spent considerable time reflecting. Which project could benefit most from quantum computation right now? Where could Riley's specific skills make the biggest impact? The lover's card signifies making choices that align with one's core being. It involves both heart and mind. Riley consulted with mentors from the Quantum Quest Hub. Discussions with peers also provided valuable perspectives. This decision would significantly shape the next chapter. It was a commitment to a specific application of quantum power. Riley felt the weight of this choice. After careful consideration, Riley chose the medical project. The goal was to simulate protein folding. Understanding this process is key to developing cures for many diseases. With the decision made, the chariot energy surged through Riley. A powerful sense of drive and determination took hold. There was a clear objective. The path ahead was undeniably challenging, but Riley felt an unwavering resolve to succeed. This phase demanded intense focus, unwavering willpower, and relentless effort. The chariot symbolizes moving forward with conviction. The work began with intense coding sessions. Riley often worked late into the night. The chariot signifies overcoming obstacles through sheer force of will. And obstacles were plentiful. The quantum algorithms were complex. Bugs in the code were frustratingly common. Accessing and using quantum simulators effectively was another hurdle. Yet, Riley persevered. Each small breakthrough, each successfully run simulation, fueled further motivation. The project team was highly supportive. They were all united by the same critical mission: to unlock medical miracles. Section 5. Inner Strength in Solitude, the Hermit's Light. The medical project, simulating protein folding, was incredibly complex. It pushed the limits of current quantum algorithms and hardware. Riley encountered numerous technical hurdles. Optimizing the quantum circuits required immense patience and ingenuity. This was a test of strength. Not brute force, but the quiet, persistent inner strength. The ability to face repeated frustrations and failures without giving up. Riley learned to manage the intricate details of quantum states. It was a delicate dance of precision and creativity. Slowly, the simulations began to yield more promising results. Debugging quantum code was a uniquely challenging task. A tiny error in a qubits phase could cascade into wildly incorrect outcomes. The strength card often depicts a figure gently taming a powerful beast. Riley felt this acutely. It was about mastering the wild, almost untamable nature of quantum mechanics. It required calm, focused concentration for extended periods. Each successfully identified and fixed bug was a small victory. These victories accumulated, building confidence and refining Riley's skills. The process was demanding but also deeply rewarding. True strength was found in this persistent engagement. There were times when the complexity felt overwhelming. During these periods, Riley embraced solitude. The hermit archetype represents this need for introspection. Riley would step away from the glowing screen. Long walks in nature became a regular practice. These moments of quiet reflection helped to clear the mind. They allowed new insights to surface, unbidden. The hermit seeks wisdom from within, away from the noise of the world. This solitude was not an escape but a vital part of the problem-solving process. It was a way to recharge and refocus. It was often during these solitary reflective times that breakthroughs occurred. An elegant solution to a stubborn coding problem might suddenly appear, or a novel idea for a more efficient quantum algorithm would crystallize. The hermit's lantern, a symbol of inner guidance, seemed to illuminate the path forward. Riley learned the profound value of introspection. It was just as crucial as the hours spent actively coding. Achieving a balance between intense work and quiet reflection became essential. This balance fostered both productivity and well-being. It was a key to sustained progress. Section 6. Fortune's Spin and the Scales of Justice. Then, almost unexpectedly, the tide began to turn. The medical project started to gain significant attention. A research paper co-authored by Riley and the team was accepted by a prestigious journal. The wheel of fortune had begun to spin. New opportunities emerged rapidly. A major pharmaceutical company expressed keen interest in their work. They recognized the transformative potential of Riley's quantum simulations for drug development. This was a pivotal moment. Years of hard work and dedication were starting to pay off in tangible ways. Luck seemed to favor the prepared mind. With this newfound recognition, funding offers started to arrive. More resources became available to the research team. This meant they could expand their efforts. They could potentially access more powerful next-generation quantum hardware. The Wheel of Fortune symbolizes the ever-changing cycles of life. Ups and downs are inevitable. Riley felt a potent mix of exhilaration and increased pressure. The project was accelerating. This momentum was both exciting and daunting. It was clear that their work was on the cusp of making a real-world impact. The stakes were higher now. However, success brought with it a new set of complex questions. These were primarily ethical questions. Justice became the guiding archetype. This card represents fairness, truth, and moral balance. The interested pharmaceutical company wanted exclusive rights to the discoveries. This raised a critical dilemma. Should the potentially life-saving knowledge be proprietary, controlled by one entity for profit, or should it be shared openly with the global scientific community? Riley had to carefully weigh these competing considerations. Personal values were being put to the ultimate test. The path forward was not immediately clear. Riley firmly believed that scientific breakthroughs, especially in medicine, should benefit all of humanity. The principle of justice demanded a fair and equitable outcome. Riley became a strong advocate for open science principles within the team. There were many long, intense discussions with team members, mentors, and the potential funders. Finding a balance between incentivizing innovation and ensuring broad access was challenging. It was about upholding one's core values. Doing the right thing, even when faced with powerful counter-arguments or lucrative offers, was paramount. This was a crucial test of character. Section 7. Transformative Visions Hanged Man to Temperance. Despite the project's growing momentum, Riley soon encountered a significant creative block. The protein simulations reached a plateau. The current quantum algorithm, while innovative, was not yielding the desired accuracy for more complex molecules. It felt like hitting a wall. This is where the hanged man archetype made its presence felt. This card symbolizes a pause, a surrender of old ways, and the need to see things from a completely new perspective. Riley realized that pushing harder with the existing approach was futile. A fundamental shift in thinking was required. It was time to let go. Riley decided to take a step back and explore a different quantum technique. This involved diving into hybrid quantum classical algorithms. It felt like a detour, almost a surrender of the progress made so far. But the hanged man often precedes enlightenment. By voluntarily suspending old efforts and embracing a different viewpoint, new pathways can emerge. This shift was uncomfortable. It meant admitting that the current path was no longer optimal. However, this willingness to change and adapt was crucial for continued growth and eventual success in the complex quantum landscape. The old, purely quantum algorithm was respectfully set aside. This represented death, not a literal demise, but a necessary ending of one phase to make way for another. Death in this context signifies transformation and rebirth. From the lessons learned, a new, more powerful hybrid algorithm began to take shape. Temperance then became the guiding force. Riley focused on skillfully blending the strengths of quantum computing with classical computing. These two distinct computational paradigms needed to work together in perfect harmony. Temperance is the art of integration, of finding the perfect balance between different elements. The new hybrid approach proved to be remarkably effective. It leveraged classical computers for tasks they excelled at, such as data pre-processing and result analysis. The quantum processors, in turn, were dedicated to the most computationally intensive parts of the protein simulation, the quantum calculations themselves. This synergy was the key. Temperance showed how to combine disparate components into a more powerful whole. The protein simulations, powered by this balanced approach, started to produce incredibly accurate and insightful results. A new level of harmony and efficiency was achieved. Section 8. Facing Inner Demons and the Tower's Fall. The increasing success of the hybrid algorithm attracted even more attention. Some of this attention came with strings attached. Lucrative offers arrived from various companies. However, not all of them shared Riley's vision of using quantum for global good. The devil archetype emerged, representing temptation and confronting one's shadow. Riley was tempted by the prospect of significant personal wealth and resources. Some companies wanted to apply the powerful quantum algorithms for purely commercial gains, or even for ethically questionable purposes. This was a profound test of Riley's integrity and commitment to the original mission. The devil card often highlights unhealthy attachments or illusions. An attachment to fame or to material wealth could easily lead one astray. Riley paused to reflect on the journey so far. The initial inspiration was to use quantum computing to solve critical problems in medicine and sustainability. These tempting offers, if accepted without careful consideration, could derail that core purpose. Riley remembered the lessons learned from the Hierophant about responsible innovation, and from Justice about ethical conduct. The choice was clear, though not easy. Purpose must always take precedence over profit. This reaffirmation of values was critical. Just as the project seemed to be on a stable and upward trajectory, disaster struck. A critical piece of shared quantum hardware, a cloud-based quantum computer the team relied on heavily, suffered a catastrophic failure. The tower card manifested with shocking abruptness. All ongoing simulations ground to a halt. It initially seemed that months, perhaps even years, of painstakingly generated data might be irretrievably lost. The entire team was devastated. It felt as though their carefully constructed edifice was crumbling before their very eyes. The sense of shock and despair was palpable. The tower symbolizes sudden, disruptive, and often painful change. It shatters old structures and illusions of security. However, the tower's destruction also clears the ground for new, more resilient foundations to be built. After the initial shock subsided, Riley and the team rallied. They began an intensive effort to explore alternative quantum hardware platforms. They discovered innovative data recovery techniques they hadn't considered before. The crisis, while immensely challenging, forced them to become more adaptable and resourceful. They started to rebuild, not just what was lost, but something even stronger and more robust than before. Section 9. Starlight, Sunrise, and the World Achieved. Following the turmoil of the tower, a sense of hope and renewal emerged, signified by the star. Riley's newly refined hybrid algorithm, born from the ashes of the setback, proved to be even more powerful. It was more robust and adaptable. Crucially, it could now run efficiently on a wider variety of available quantum computing platforms. The star represents inspiration, clarity, and guidance from a higher source. The team felt a renewed sense of purpose and optimism. They knew they were back on the right path, their resolve strengthened by the recent adversity they had overcome together. The enhanced algorithm soon led to a monumental breakthrough. It successfully and accurately predicted the folding patterns of a protein critically involved in a widespread debilitating disease. This was the dawning of the sun, a moment of brilliant success, clarity, and joyful achievement. Judgment followed swiftly. The team's groundbreaking work gained widespread global recognition. Leading scientific journals clamored to publish their findings. Substantial funding poured in, not just for this project, but for broader quantum research initiatives inspired by their success. Riley was invited to speak at international conferences, sharing their journey and insights. Riley's personal and professional journey was acknowledged far and wide. The Quantum Quest Hub, where it all began with the Fool's Leap, proudly featured their success story. This narrative served as a powerful inspiration for a new generation of aspiring quantum coders and scientists. Judgment in this context represented a final positive assessment of the long and arduous path taken. Riley could clearly see the profound impact of the journey. From a curious novice filled with questions, Riley had transformed into a recognized innovator, contributing to solving real-world problems. This naturally led to the culmination symbolized by the World Card. A profound sense of completion and wholeness enveloped Riley. The World Card signifies ultimate achievement, integration, and unity. The quantum algorithm was now actively being used to accelerate the development of new medicines. Its principles were also being adapted for innovative sustainability projects, fulfilling Riley's initial dual interests. Riley had not only mastered complex technical skills, but had also undergone significant personal growth. The journey from the fool to the world was complete, yet in the true spirit of science and discovery, this completion was also a new beginning. The quest for knowledge, for understanding, and for making a positive impact never truly ends.